Jack Ma, the richest man in China, used to be the man of the people, the perfect representation of China's emergence on the global stage. The man who came from humble beginnings as an English teacher. However, in a little under a year, the Alibaba founder saw his popularity decline up to a point where he is now only referred to as an afterthought. In this video, we will show you how China turned against Jack Ma. We will also show you how the billionaire was used as a scapegoat to send warning signals to other Chinese entrepreneurs and intellectuals who may have second thoughts about challenging the power of President Xi Jinping and the Communist Party of China. In China, Jack Ma is a success symbol. For many years, many in Chinese society used him as a reference point to explain to the younger and emerging population that they could achieve anything they set out to achieve. The saying, "If Jack could do it, you can too," was a common instructional phrase for parents as a means to motivate their children to strive for success. Even politicians in the Communist Party used similar talking points to explain the importance of remaining loyal to the party. He was called Daddy Ma and had a rock star personality. China's own version of Jeff Bezos was also popular in the West too. In 2016, he was the first high-profile Chinese citizen that President Trump met after he assumed office. So positive were the general sentiment around him that he played the role of a Kungfu master in a 2017 movie, and a painting he made alongside China's top artist Zeng Fanzhi was sold at Sotheby's for $5.4 million. Unfortunately, the tide of favourable sentiment did not last. Today, Daddy Ma has become the man many in China love to hate. He had been called different names in Chinese media: a villain, a traitor, evil capitalist, blood-sucking ghost. So bad is the present sentiment that a writer even published Mr. Ma's 10 Deadly Sins. But why did a man that was once the darling of the public become the evil villain? Why did he lose so much social support in such a short time? The answer to this is easy. He fell out with the Communist Party of China and he is being used as a scapegoat. Many people believe that many in the government already had an agenda against the Alibaba founder because they saw him as a threat amidst his growing popularity. So it was only a matter of time before they came for him. To understand where it all began, at least in public view, we don't need to look further than what transpired during a meeting involving stakeholders in China's stock and finance industry. At the conference in which Ma was a keynote speaker, he lambasted the country's finance laws and practices which he termed archaic and out of touch with modern reality. In his words, China's massive financial infrastructure was run by bureaucrats who had a pawn shop mentality. To be fair, he did not mention any of the top party leaders by name. However, his remarks were seen by many, including many in the government, as an open jibe at the political establishment. What made his statement even more profound is that there were many top officials of the Politburo at the conference, so Ma's comment was perceived as a direct insult to party officials both present and absent. As expected, the pushback was profound, but much stronger than many had expected. Few weeks after the comments were made, he was invited by finance regulators to explain the activities of his fintech company, Ant Group, which is an affiliate of Alibaba. At the same time, the IPO that Ant Group had planned to release for sale on the stock exchange worth billions of dollars was cancelled. Furthermore, investigators opened an investigation into alleged antitrust activities practiced by Alibaba Group. The main accusation was simple. According to investigators, there was considerable evidence to show that the e-commerce conglomerate was stifling competition to create a monopoly. Also, officials from 4 regulatory agencies met with Ant officials with the sole aim of imposing regulatory limitations on its endeavours. On his part, Ma was incommunicado for weeks. No one knew where he was or what he was up to. There were rumours that he had fled the country. Others speculated that he had been arrested and placed in a house somewhere in Mongolia. When the rumours reached a crescendo, he posted a video informing the public that he was going to focus on philanthropic projects to educate China's poor, but the video looked like he was in a hostage situation. After the episode, a great section of the public turned on him and his reputation has been on a downward spiral ever since. The persecution of Jack Ma may seem like a single individual falling foul of the ruling establishment, but it is much deeper than that. If we look back several months before the fallout, you will notice a pattern. For quite some time, the Chinese political establishment has become increasingly critical of the business community. Funny enough, it was the business empire that dragged China out of the Dark Ages and the epic ruins caused by Mao Zedong's Great Leap Forward. Now the business class faces persecution if they fail to parrot the ideology of the ruling party. Many see Ma's persecution as a direct message to the business elites in the country. Move against our agenda and end up like Ma. That appears to be the message the Communist Party of China is sending to the businessmen and women in China. Unfortunately, billionaires like Ma are not the only ones feeling the heat. A growing section of the population sees opportunities disappearing right before their eyes. The situation is even worse now in the aftermath of the coronavirus. Party sympathizers will argue that the country has more billionaires than the US. If billionaires were a metric to judge the economic success of a nation, they would be right. However, when you consider the fact that more than 600 million Chinese citizens earn $150 a month or less, you begin to see the picture clearer. For years, having an American education was seen as a route to economic success, but today there are so many young graduates with foreign degrees who have access to fewer job opportunities. The cost of living is rising as wages remain low. Rents are at an all-time high, and the cost of housing for first-time buyers is expensive. One may then conclude that China's long-running resentment for the rich is beginning to bubble to the surface. When the political establishment hates the rich and a section of the society resent their illicit status, they tend to be more conservative with their investment activities for fear of criticism. In Jack Ma's case, many in the young population owe online lenders like Ma's Ant Group a lot in debt, and this debt has led to increasing resentment. In a country like China with a state-sponsored media, everything that gets out is controlled by the government, so Ma's negative public image is not coincidental. A snide remark against financial regulators shouldn't be a sufficient reason to warrant such a pushback. However, that is what happened. Ma is China's most recognizable billionaire, and if the political establishment under President Xi needs a scapegoat, it has found one in Ma. For instance, a popular online commentator referred to the execution style that was pervasive in France during the Second Revolution when he said that Jack Ma will definitely be hanged on a lamppost. In a different era, such a comment would be sanctioned as hate speech and taken down. However, the post was widely circulated in the state-controlled platform Weibo, and it was liked more than 122,000 times and read more than 100,000 times on WeChat. If you were looking for state connections to Jack Ma's fall, this experience is a perfect example, and one of many. But for now, the Communist Party is keen to tap into the resentment of the people for one or two reasons. The first reason is that maintaining or encouraging criticism of the business elite is a clever way to deflect responsibility from its own shortcomings. The second reason is that such choreographed criticism can be used as a weapon to compel obedience. Whatever the reasons, the plan seems to be working. The leader of China, Xi Jinping, values loyalty above everything else, and business leaders who do not show loyalty to the party may find themselves in hot water like Jack Ma. What do you think of this massive radical fall of Jack Ma? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more of these videos. Take care.